I will be gentle, kind, and encouraging, but I will probably stop there. For a close family member, my spouse, or a close friend, they will receive love, support, compassion, and non-judgment. They will get whatever I can offer, provide, or guide them with. Story 24. It's your call, friend. I'll support either choice you make, but I will miss you every day, and I want you to know that it will get better. Also, see a psychiatrist. Story 25. I would fully listen to them and let them talk about what is making them feel that way first and foremost. If it was appropriate, I would keep it simple and say that I understand life is hard. I would tell them that June will mark 2 years since my last attempt on my life, and I still don't always want to stay. Sometimes, thinking of the people I would devastate by leaving keeps me here. More and more, though, I choose life. I'm learning to appreciate just being alive, breathing in and out, as a miracle. I don't mean this in a religious or spiritual way. Just considering the probability and the chaotic universe, how much evolution and millions of years of life striving forward it took to get here, it's incredible that I get to be a sentient and conscious being. I've lost friends, life is fleeting and brief anyway. I might as well hang on to it as long as I can. Story 26. Check out the show After Life. Some may find this thought morbid, but instead of thinking about it today, postpone it until tomorrow and do whatever you want today as if you are not afraid of dying. As you start to string a few days together, you may begin to find some form of joy that makes it worth postponing for one more day. Story 27. Just listen and let them express their feelings. Sometimes there is not much you can say to someone who has had enough of life's difficulties. Story 28. I believe I have experienced a lot of negativity, but there is still much positivity to discover. I have allowed myself to feel pain and sadness, but I also want to embrace opportunities for freedom, happiness, and peace. Although I can choose to end things at any time, I cannot take back those experiences. Therefore, I remind myself to give it another chance. Story 29. I want them to live. I would miss them and feel terrible if they were gone. Listening is important, but from personal experience, people need to know they matter. Just listening can backfire. If you calmly listen to someone who wants to die, it may be misinterpreted as not caring. Do not give advice, but let the person know you would miss them if they were gone. While this may not be true for everyone, I believe most individuals who are suicidal feel that no one would care or even notice if they were gone, or that others would be happier. Story 30. We are all on Earth for a reason. To learn certain lessons and experience both good and bad times. Let life take its course until it is time to go. Story 31. You've hit a wall. Now lean against it and rest. The path you are on is not the right one for you, and that's why life feels so tough. Make changes, take baby steps. When your mind and body start to relax, you're going in the right direction. Everything is going to be okay. Story 32. My uncle's first wife had a sister who was very suicidal after she was diagnosed with leukemia. They tried to talk to her about her treatment and how she wasn't alone. She had a lot of support from family and friends. She committed suicide before treatment even started. I don't know what more they could have done. Story 33. You and they should contact NAMI. They are much more than the usual hotline. NAMI is a volunteer alliance with families, lay people, and professionals who provide mental health support to individuals who cannot access or afford it through traditional high-cost channels. Many of the members have experienced similar situations or have had family members who have faced similar challenges. Whether you are the family or friend of someone who needs support, or if you are someone who needs support, they will provide assistance at no cost and connect you with classes and individuals who can help. Story 34. Be defiant. I put myself through a much harder reality than the one that was hurting me because it seemed like a waste not to try. It kind of forces resilience, which can build into internal strength to carry on. Many of us experience these feelings at different points in our lives. Seek out those who have survived similar experiences. Don't stay around people who aren't actively working to improve their mental health. If they are feeling stuck, they might not want to see you get better. This can create a group of individuals feeding despair. Find those who are doing good deeds in the community and help them, even if you don't feel like it. Story 35. When I was severely depressed and idealized suicide every night, all I could think about was the bliss of ending it altogether. However, the quote that pulled me out and kept me grounded came from a proverb I'm not sure of. It said, "When we're in the thick of it, we feel like we're drowning and that we should succumb to ending ourselves. But we don't actually want to die. We just want the pain to stop." I took this to mean that the pain will eventually end and we will find life attractive again. So we need to keep our heads above water, and life will settle the rest. For someone going through this pain, I would suggest doing the bare minimum until you're able to get through the day, and keep doing it until enough time passes for us to live our lives with comparatively more joy and freedom than we had before. Moving forward, even if it's only inch by inch, is always better than staying stagnant in the same depressive place. Story 36. I wouldn't tell them anything. I would ask them, would you talk to me about what's making you feel that way? Or would you talk to a mental health professional about it? Would you take advantage of the resources available for this very thing? I am not a mental health professional. I am a long-time retired paramedic who has spoken to many people who wish to end their lives. I can offer a different perspective and am willing to help you find the assistance you need. You should never tell anyone anything or offer false hope. I can't say I know how you feel because I don't. The one thing I can promise is that I would never turn my back on someone who is hurting. Story 37. When I reached that point, one of my best friends told me he would be upset if I harmed myself. I stayed alive just to prove him wrong. Story 38. I would encourage them to consider other ways to solve their problems and whether choosing to die is worth losing all the good things in their lives. If they still want to die, I wouldn't force them not to, as I would have done all I could. Story 39. Goodbye. I'm sorry, but I'm not trained to promote life as an amazing idea to you. I can listen and share what I occasionally enjoy, but the professionals at helplines or mental health facilities are better equipped than I am. I connected my last suicidal friend on the phone to a supportive counselor. Story 40. You are going to die soon enough from natural causes, so you may as well enjoy this one-time life experience as long as you can. Story 41. Think of the pain and anguish it would cause friends and family, or consider the opportunity to help someone else and make their life better. You still have good things to do for others. Story 42. Don't die yet. Have you met a funny person like me? If not, try it once. You might not want to. Story 43. Life can be challenging, but most things change with time. You should work at it a little longer before making any final decisions. I will help however I can. Story 44. I get these thoughts periodically. I am 49 years old. My best friend died by suicide in 2022. I am not suicidal, but I have often wanted to just vanish. When I feel like that, there is nothing in the world anyone can tell me to change my mind. I must simply work through it, knowing that God has me going through this in order to come out of it stronger. Once I am out of it, I feel evolved. Why must I go through this? Because God knows I can endure more than most. And we are the light bearers that people need in this world. Keep going through it, keep relying on God to guide you, and keep shining once it has passed. Story 45. You have survived all the crises you have faced so far. You are stronger than you believe. Life constantly changes, and I do not want to miss it getting better. Story 46. So what would I tell myself when I was younger? Go to therapy. I started therapy, and it changed my life. I also see pictures of younger me when I was struggling. I wish she knew how beautiful she is inside and out. I would have hugged her and told her she is strong and that everything turned out okay. I know people always say this, and it's hard to believe, but it's true. I might also suggest getting a dog. When I feel sad because I have no family, I think about how much my dog would miss me if I weren't here anymore. Sometimes, I live for him more than for myself. Story 47. I would say the feeling will pass, but I would be lying. I am going to be 35 this year, and I have somehow navigated lingering depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, and more, yet I am still here. When I was younger, I was convinced I would not make it to 30. I have never taken any medication, but medication is definitely essential for some people. Feel free to message me if you need someone to talk to.